So, good morning, students. So, this is Arvind, Assistant Professor, Department of Triple DBSIT Kavali. So, in the previous classes, I discussed about electrical machines 3 subject. So, on the subject, I discussed about some introduction about synchronous generators. Okay, next, I discussed about some induced EMFs in induced EMF in the system, and next, I'm discussed about some synchronous speed, and after that, I'm discussed about some differences between DC generator and alternator, and after that, I'm discussed about some working principle about a synchronous generator or alternator. So, and now I'm going to discuss some constructional details of synchronous generator. Okay, so today I'm going to discuss this topic, construction of alternator or synchronous generator. So you already know that the other name of the alternator is a synchronous generator. So here an alternator has three-phase winding on the stator. Okay, so an alternator has three-phase winding on the stator and a DC field winding on the rotor. So an alternator has three-phase winding on the stator and a DC field winding on the rotor. So here the stator. So you already know that the stator is the stationary part of the machine. So you already well known about this one. Okay. So it is the stator is the stationary part of the machine. Okay, and is built up of silicon steel laminations. Okay, and is built up of silicon steel laminations having slots on its periphery, on its inner periphery. So here if you see this diagram, so this is the alternator diagram. So here the three-phase winding, three-phase supply is given here and three-phase winding is here. So this is the armature winding and this is the field winding. Okay, this one is the stator and this one is the rotor. So if you observe this diagram, okay, next, so here the stator is the stationary part of the machine. So actually this stationary part is built up of some silicon steel laminations or material having slots on its inner periphery. So here a three-phase winding is placed in these slots. A three-phase winding, that means this one. So this is the armature three-phase winding, that is nothing but armature winding. So this three-phase winding is placed on its inner periphery. Okay. So and serves as the armature winding of the alternator. So I already told that the three-phase winding is nothing but the armature winding of the alternator. So this armature winding is placed on the slots and it serves as the armature winding of the alternator. So here the armature winding is always connected in star. So you already know that we have two types of connections, one is star and one is delta. So here the armature winding is always connected in star connection only and the neutral is connected to ground and the neutral is connected to ground. Okay, so this is the stator part of the alternator. Next, rotor. So this is the very important constructional point or construction details of the alternator, rotor. So here the rotor carries a field winding. So I already told that the rotor carries the field winding and the stator carries armature winding. So I already told in the difference between DC generator and alternator. Okay. So here the rotor carries a field winding, so which is supplied with direct current. Okay, the rotor carries a field winding, so which is supplied with direct current through two slip rings by a separate DC source. Okay, here the rotor carries a field winding, you already know that. So here the field winding, so which is supplied with direct current through two slip rings. Okay, direct current through two slip rings by a separate DC source. So that DC source is nothing but an exciter. Okay, na? So this DC source is generally a small DC shunter compound generator mounted on the shaft of the alternator. So if you see this diagram, so this one, so here this is the field winding. So in the rotor part, so this is the field winding. So whenever the field winding is excited, the current is flowing. Okay, so the current is flowing. So and after that, so here the with the DC field winding which is supplied with the direct current through two slip rings. So if you have the DC current, we have to use slip rings. Okay, so that's why here I am using the which is supplied with direct current through two slip rings by a separate DC source. So here I am connecting a separate DC source for the rotor. Okay, for the rotor I am connecting the DC source, that is this one, okay, three-phase supply. And next, so this DC source is also called as an exciter. So here this DC source is generally a here I am using the DC source as DC shunt or compound generator. You already know that the different types of generators is there. One is series generator, shunt generator, compound generator. You already know that. So here I am using the exciter as the DC shunt or compound generator. So it is mounted on the shaft of the alternator. So here the DC generator is mounted on the shaft. So this one, okay, this one is the shaft. Next, rotor construction is of two types, namely. So if you if you go through the rotor construction in the alternator, we have two types of construction for the alternator. One is salient pole type and another one is non-salient pole. So here salient pole type is also called as an projecting type. So here that one is also called as a projecting type, and next one is non-salient pole type. So that is also called as cylindrical pole type. Okay, cylindrical pole type. Next, so if you see the salient pole type, so in this type, salient or projecting poles are mounted on a large circular steel frame. So here the salient or projecting poles are mounted on a large circular steel frame. So it is fixed to the shaft of the alternator. If you see this diagram, so this is a salient pole type rotor. Okay, this is the salient pole type rotor. So here I am using 4 poles. So 2 south poles and 2 north poles. These two are adjacent to each other. Okay, these two are south poles and these two are north poles. Here, if you see this, so here I am telling that these projection poles are mounted on a large circular steel frame. So which is fixed to the shaft of the alternator. So this one is the shaft. Okay, this one is the shaft, and it is connected on this one. Okay, so this one is the slip rings. These two. This one is the DC supply. If you see this diagram, this circular shape. So if you see this the slip rings. So this one is the slip ring, and another one this is the DC supply. Okay, DC supply. Next, so here salient or projecting poles are mounted on a large circular steel frame which is fixed to the shaft of the alternator. So here the individual field pole windings are connected in series. So if you see this diagram, here the field windings are connected in series. So these are the connections. So this is the field winding. So this is connected to the DC supply, and this is also connected to the DC supply. From every pole it is connected series to the DC supply. Okay. So if you see this diagram, so these connections, field winding is directed here. If you see this diagram, here the field winding, and this is the connection diagram. So this is connected series to the DC supply. Okay, every connection. Next, so the individual field pole windings are connected in series in such a way that when the field winding is energized by the DC exciter. So whenever we connected these individual field windings in series to the connection, so in such a way that when the field winding is energized by the DC exciter, so whenever the field winding, so this one, whenever this field winding is excited, so by the DC supply, so this is the external supply I am using, okay, DC supply, then adjacent poles have opposite polarities. Adjacent poles have opposite polarities. So here the adjacent poles have opposite polarities. Okay. Next, so here these type of alternators, these type of salient pole type rotors are used for low and medium speed alternators. So these salient pole type of rotors are used in low and medium speed alternators. Approximately the speed is in between 120 to 400 rpm only. So very low and medium speed alternators, I am using these salient pole alternators. Okay, such as those driven by diesel engines. So those alternators are driven by diesel engines or water turbines have salient pole type of alternators due to the following reasons. Why we are using these means, here we have some following reasons. Those are, so here the salient field poles would cause, so the salient field poles would cause an excessive windage losses if driven at high speed. So for suppose if we driven the salient pole rotor to the high speed alternators, so in that one we have the salient pole fields will cause an excessive windage losses. Okay, so those tend to produce noise. So that's why we are not connected the salient pole rotor to the high speed alternators. Okay, this is That is the first point. And next one, salient pole construction cannot be made strong enough. So here the salient pole construction cannot be made strong enough to withstand the mechanical stresses. To withstand the mechanical stresses to which they may be subjected at higher speeds. So whenever we subjected to the salient pole type rotor is high speeds, here we have the mechanical stresses. So that's why we do not connect because of there is the construction of salient pole cannot be made strong, cannot be made strong. Okay, cannot be made strong. Here I am using a frequency of 50 Hz. So I already said that the frequency, standard frequency in India is 50 Hz. So here I am taking that 50 Hz. So since a frequency of 50 Hz is required, so we must use a large number of poles on the rotor of slow speed alternators. So why? Because this salient pole type of rotors only used in slow speed alternators or medium speed alternators. That's why we are using the 50 Hz frequency. So, and we must use a large number of poles on the rotor of slow speed alternators. Okay, next, consequentially, salient pole type rotors have large diameters and short axial lengths. Okay, this is the very important point. So this here, salient pole type rotors have large diameters and short axial lengths. Okay, short axial lengths. Next, non-salient or cylindrical pole type rotors. Non-salient, okay, or cylindrical pole type. So here, so in this type, the rotor is made up of smooth, solid, fragged steel radial cylinder. Okay, so the rotor is made up of smooth, solid, fragged steel, and it is made of look like a cylinder having a number of slots along the outer periphery. So if you see this diagram, if you understand. So this is the non-salient or cylindrical pole type. So if you see this diagram, so this is in the cylindrical shape. Here I am using 4 poles, that is north poles and 2 south poles. And here these are the non-salient poles. These are the non-salient poles. Here I am using the DC supply. Here I am using the DC supply. This one. So here the field windings are embedded in these slots. So here the field windings are embedded in these slots. So these are the field windings. So north pole, south pole, in between we have the field windings. So north pole, south pole, and coming to north to south we have field winding, and south to north we have field winding, and north to south we have field winding, and south to north we have field winding. So these north and south poles are non-salient poles in this case. Okay. So the field windings are embedded in these slots and are connected in series to the slip rings, and these are connected to series to the slip rings to this one. Okay. Next, so which they are energized by the DC exciter, that means this DC supply. Okay, that means the DC supply through which they are energized by the DC exciter. Next, the regions forming the poles are usually left unslotted. So here the regions forming the poles are usually left unslotted. So if you see this diagram, this one, these are unslotted. So these are the field windings, these are circular shape and dots, these are the field windings, and we have the vacant space for that one. So we have the vacant space. So one is containing field winding and another one is left unslotted. So here the flux distribution around the periphery is here. So here the field windings are embedded in these slots and are connected in series to the slip rings through which they are energized by the DC exciter. Next, the regions forming the poles are usually left unslotted. So already it is shown in figure. So it is clear that the poles formed are non-salient. Okay, the poles formed are non-salient. That is, they do not project out from the rotor surface. They do not project out from the rotor surface. So here, if you see this one here, so these are the non-salient poles, north, south poles. Okay, these are the field windings. The empty area is unslotted because the regions forming the poles are usually left unslotted. So it is clear that poles formed are non-salient. here the poles are already I said that the non-salient, that is they do not project out from the rotor surface. So if you see this, this is the rotor surface, so that's why this is not projecting out from the surface. Okay. Next. So non-salient are so these non-salient or cylindrical pole type rotors are used in high-speed alternators. So in the previous salient pole or projecting type alternators, alternating rotors, so those rotors are used for low and medium speed alternators. But this non-salient or cylindrical pole type rotors are used in high-speed alternators. The speed is approximately in between 1500 RPM, 3000 RPM. So the maximum speed of the alternator I already discussed, that is 3000 RPM. Okay, that is 3000 RPM. Okay, so here high speed alternators are driven by steam turbines. So here in the previous case, the salient pole rotors are driven by the diesel machines or water turbines. But here in this case, these high speed alternators are driven by steam turbines. Okay, and use non-salient type rotors due to the following reasons. Why we are using non-salient pole rotors? Because so this type of construction has mechanical robustness. Okay, this type of construction has mechanical robustness. Okay, and gives noiseless operation at high speeds. Why we are using this non-salient pole rotors? Because this type of construction has mechanical robustness and gives noiseless operation at high speeds. Okay. So in the previous case, that is salient pole or projecting type. So in that case, the type of construction is robust and smooth. That's why it gives the noise if we subject it to the high speeds. But here if we subject it to the high speeds, it gives noiseless operation. Okay. Here the flux distribution around the periphery is nearly a sine wave. So the flux distribution around the periphery is nearly a sine wave, and hence a better EMF waveform is obtained than in the case of salient pole. Okay. So the flux distribution around the periphery is nearly a sine wave, and hence a better EMF waveform is obtained than in case of salient pole type. Okay. Than in the case of salient pole type. Compared to salient pole, here it is give the better EMF waveform. Okay. Next. So this is the topic I am using, and another topic is armature windings of alternators. So actually armature windings of alternator contains different types of windings for the alternator. So before going to the topic, we have different terminologies in the armature windings of alternators. In this one, first one is conductor. So what is meant by conductor? So the part of the wire, okay, the part of the wire which is under the influence of magnetic field. The part of the wire which is under the influence of magnetic field and in which the EMF is induced is called a conductor. Okay, is called conductor. The part of the wire which is under the influence of magnetic field and in which the EMF is induced is called conductor. And next, turn. So a conductor in one slot, when connected to the conductor in another slot, is called turn. A conductor in one slot. So if you observe this one, so these are, if you observe this diagram, A diagram, so this is turn. So here I am consisting of two slots, slot 1 and slot 2, and conductor 1 and conductor 2. Okay, so a conductor in one slot, so here a conductor in one slot, when connected to conductor in another slot. So here we have two slots and two conductors. If you want to have the turn, that is a conductor in one slot, so this one, when connected to conductor in another slot. Okay, so this rectangular, half rectangular shape is known as square shape is called slot, and this circular shape is called conductor. So here also slot 1 and slot 2. And next I am taking the conductor, a conductor in one slot is when connected to the conductor in another slot, that is slot 2. In another slot is called turn. Okay, two conductors constitute a ton. Okay, two conductors constitute a ton. Okay, so here this is the topic I am discussed in this one. Okay,